everyone, welcome back to Storytellers Unite. I am super excited to be filming today. It was so wonderful to see your feedback from last week, pictures of your children, videos of them interacting. So if you did send those in to me, then thank you so much. If you haven't seen last week's video, it was the 3 little pigs, so please feel free to go back and check that out. And thank you so much for clicking on this one today. 2 bits of feedback that came up that I just wanted to address quickly. The first one is, how frequently will I be doing these stories? So I've decided on hashtag Tell a Story Tuesday at 2, all the T's. So I'll be releasing them on my Facebook at 2 p.m. and please feel free to share them from there so that they can go out to parents who I might not be connected with on Facebook. And then the second bit was just about how it would be useful for you guys as parents and carers to know about anything that we might need during the story. So for today, it is just a hard surface for your children to knock on, or a wall or a door or a window, because there will be a little bit of knocking during the story, but other than that, I think they just need their fine selves for acting, improvisation, call and response, all those good things. So yeah, I'm going to jump straight into the story. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and all of those things. Thank you so much. Hello storytellers, welcome back to Storytellers Unite. I am so excited for our story today, but first of all I would like to teach you a chant. Okay, so I'm gonna say storytellers and you're gonna say unite with a punch in the air. Okay, nice and loud for me, guys. I'll say storytellers, you say unite. This is going to be a practice round and then we'll do the real thing. Storytellers! Storytellers! Oh, good work, guys. Now that was okay, but I think you could be a little bit louder. Okay, have another turn for me. So I'm going to say storytellers and you're going to shout unite with a big punch in the air. Okay, off we go. Storytellers! Storytellers! Fantastic work, guys. So we're going to practice that every week and hopefully we'll get better and better. So, you might have noticed I am wearing a red cloak today. I wonder what our story might be. Has anybody heard of Little Red Riding Hood? If you have, can you give me a big thumbs up? Oh, fantastic work. Well, I'm glad that some of you have heard of the story. We're going to jump straight in. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Whenever she went out, she wore a red riding cloak. So everybody in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother, as it had been a while since they had seen each other. That's a good idea, said her mother. So they packed a nice basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother. Now, can you find yourself an imaginary basket, mine's quite big, and pop it in your lap for me? And then I'd like you to have a little think to yourself about what your grandma or your nanny, or maybe you've got an auntie, would like in a basket that you are going to give to her. So start putting your things in. Now I know that my nanny loves cake. So I'm going to put lots of freshly baked cupcakes into my basket. And I also know that my nanny loves flowers. So I'm going to put a nice big bunch of flowers into mine. Oh, they smell lovely. Okay, so fill up your baskets, guys. Have a think about what your nanny or maybe an auntie would like. Good job. And then pop it to one side for me. Fabulous. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red cloak. Can you put your red cloaks on for me? Pretend if you haven't got one. Pop it round your shoulders. Good job. And she kissed her mother goodbye. Can you blow kisses? Good work. Now, remember, go straight to Grandma's house. her mother cautioned. Don't dawdle along the way, and please don't talk to strangers. The woods are dangerous. Don't worry, Mummy, said Little Red Riding Hood. I'll be careful. But when Little Red Riding Hood noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few. Then she watched the butterflies flit about her. Can you show me your butterfly action? Great work, guys. She listened to the frogs croaking. Can you cup your ear and listen for some frogs? Great listening, guys. And then she picked a few more flowers. Little Red Riding Hood was enjoying the warm sunny day so much that she didn't notice a dark shadow approaching out of the forest behind her. Suddenly, the wolf appeared beside her. What are you doing out here, little girl? The wolf asked in a voice as friendly as he could muster. I'm on my way to see my grandma, who lives through the forest near the brook, Little Red Riding Hood replied. Then she realised how late she was. Can you point at your watch for me, guys? How late she was. Good job. And quickly excused herself, rushing down the path to her grandma's house. The wolf, in the meantime, took a shortcut. Now, the wolf, a little out of breath from running, you know what that means. Can you show me your best running? Stand up for me. And I want you to do quick jogging on the spot. Keep running, guys. Good work. Well done. So he was a little out of breath from running, arrived at Grandma's and knocked lightly at the door. So can you find a window or a door or a hard surface and do really light knocking? Keep going for me. Great knocking, guys. Oh, thank goodness, dear. Come in, come in. I was worried sick that something had happened to you in the forest, said Grandma, thinking that the knock was her granddaughter. The wolf let himself in. Poor Granny did not have time to say another word before the wolf gobbled her up. The wolf let out a satisfied burp and then poked through Granny's wardrobe to find a nightgown that he liked. He added a frilly sleeping cap. Can you put on your frilly sleeping cap for me, guys? Good job. And for good measure, dabbed some of Granny's perfume behind his pointy ears. That's a bit funny, isn't it? Can you imagine that you've got pointy ears for me and pretend to spray some perfume behind your ears? Good work, guys. A few minutes later, Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. Now, I think she would have done a loud knock, so do a big knock for me, guys. The wolf jumped into bed and pulled the covers over his nose. Can you pull up your covers for me? Up to your nose. Well done, team. Who is it? He called in a crackly voice. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, how lovely. Do come in, my dear, croaked the wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could barely recognise her grandmother. Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter? She asked. Oh, I've just got a bit of a cold, squeaked the wolf, adding a cough at the end to prove a point. Now, I need you guys to join in for this bit, okay? So it goes like this. But Grandmother, what big ears you have. Have a go, say it with me. But Grandmother, What big ears you have. Now, let's try again, but we're going to do it with an action this time. So show me big ears like this and try and say it at the same time. But grandmother, what big ears you have, said Little Red Riding Hood as she edged closer to the bed. Then the wolf says, now have a go, join in with me. All the better to hear you with, my dear. Have a go. All the better to hear you with, my dear. Now this time I'm going to add an action, so cup your ear for me. All the better to hear you with, my dear. Great job at home, guys. Well done. Little Red Riding Hood again. But grandmother, what big eyes you have. Can you say that for me, guys? But grandmother, what big eyes you have. So, show me your big eyes, okay, guys? Try it with the action. But grandmother, what big eyes you have. Well done, team, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to see you with, my dear. Can you have a go at saying that one? Maybe even try a funny voice at home. All the better to see you with, my dear, replied the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood again. But grandmother, what big teeth you have. Can you say that one for me, guys? But grandmother, what big teeth you have. Point to your teeth for me. But grandmother, what big teeth you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to eat you with, my dear. Guys, can you have a go at shouting that one for me in a bit of a scary voice? All the better to eat you with, my dear, roared the wolf, and he leapt out of the bed and began to chase the little girl. Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realised that the person in the bed was not her grandmother. It wasn't her grandmother, but a hungry wolf. She ran across the room. Oh, can you show me your best running again, guys? Stand up for me. Nice quick jogging on the spot. Keep going. Great running, guys. Well done. She ran across the room, through the door, shouting, "Help! Wolf!" Can you have a go at shouting that for me, guys? Might even put your arms in the air and show me a scared face. "Help! Wolf!" Have another go. Show me your scared face and arms in the air. "Help! Wolf!" As loudly as she could. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor grandmother, who was a little bit frazzled by the whole experience, but still in one piece. "Oh, Grandma, I was so scared," sobbed Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll never speak to strangers or dawdle in the forest again." There, child, you've learnt an important lesson. Thank goodness you shouted loud enough for this kind woodsman to hear you. The woodsman chased the wolf down into the deep, dark forest, where he wouldn't bother people any longer. Then Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother had a nice lunch and a long chat. The end. Thank you so much for joining in my story today and doing such great listening, guys. I will see you next time on Storytellers Unite!